Art is usually framed as expression, something personal, something emotional, a reflection of how someone feels in a moment. And because of that framing, art is often treated as optional, decorative, secondary to what people call real systems. But historically for us, art was never optional. It was functional. Before we had access to formal systems, art taught us collective rhythm. It taught timing, when to move, when to wait, when to gather. Before we were safe to speak freely, art taught coded language, ways to communicate without being understood by everyone listening. Sound carried meaning. Movement carried instruction. Story carried memory. Songs weren't just songs. They weren't created to be consumed. They were maps. They were instructions. They were directions, not just toward freedom, but toward the soul. They told people where they were, who they were with, what to remember, and what not to forget. Art didn't distract us from reality. It trained us to survive inside it. That's why, even now, the most powerful movements don't begin with policy. They never have. They begin with culture. Before laws change, beliefs change. Before institutions shift, identity shifts. Art shapes what people believe is possible long before systems are forced to respond. It introduces new language, new symbols, new ways of seeing the world and ourselves within it. And once people can imagine something, it becomes much harder to convince them it cannot exist. This is why art has always been closely monitored, closely managed, and often reduced. Because when art is framed only as decoration, its strategic role disappears. It becomes background, entertainment, noise. But when art is understood as orientation, it becomes dangerous to those who benefit from confusion. Because orientation tells people where they stand, and once people know where they stand, they start asking why. Art isn't soft, it's precise. It communicates without permission. It organizes without hierarchy. It travels where formal authority cannot. Art is purpose, not passion alone, but orientation toward something greater, toward memory, toward connection, toward collective direction. And whenever art is treated as less than that, it's not because it lacks power, it's because its power is understood and deliberately minimized.